Cheers and welcome back to Cooking with MoWino. Today we are making a savory, fresh dish using the beauty of figs. Figs are in season in August and into September, and they've just been fabulous at all the farmers market. So what we're going to do is make a chicken in fig sauce and then serve it over mashed cauliflower. So we are carb happy and gluten happy. Everybody's happy in the dietary restrictions of still yet a fabulous and decadent, delicious dish. So you've seen the ingredient board, and I have washed, dried, and trimmed as much fat as possible off of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Now, these are usually one of the most economical pieces of chicken that you can buy in the store, but it's also one of the most flavorful parts of the chicken, I think. So this is a really good dish to utilize chicken thighs. So we have salt and peppered them, and what I'm going to do now is flour them and then pan fry them or I should say saute them until we get them nice and with a crispy finish on them. And then we're going to take them off to the side and then let the fig and the wine, of course, the wine sauce creation happen. Cheers. Now we are just going to simmer and lightly brown these chicken thighs. Stay tuned. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes that we have pan fried our chicken thighs to slightly brown them and give a little bit of a crispiness to the outer. We're going to remove our chicken thighs that have been slightly browned. Now, I probably cooked them longer than needed because I really just want to make sure it's done. To basically get a nice little color on them, and we're going to set them off to the side while we make our sauce. Okay, we've taken our chicken off and it is resting off to the side. So now we're going to build the multi-layers of our delicious fig sauce. So the first thing we're going to do is we're not going to clean the pan. We're going to use the same pan so that we have the drippings and the oil and the remnants of flour. And we're going to put our shallots and our garlic into the pan to start the first layer of our sauce. And then we're going to start adding the yumminess of wine. Okay, so we have our pan and our chicken drippings. We are going to... So now we're going to add our yumminess, which is 2 shallots and 2 cloves of garlic. Just picking up all of the little bits and pieces left over from our chicken. So now we have our shallots and our garlic over a medium to medium low heat source, and we're just sauteing them to loosen them up, soften them up. We are not trying to brown them. First thing we're going to do is add a half a cup of our white wine. also adding a half a cup of our chicken broth. And now we are going to add a half a cup of chopped dried figs, which are going to reconstitute and freshen up in this sauce. And if you noticed on the ingredient board, we had dried figs and fresh figs. And the fresh figs are going to be part of our garnish. So the dried figs are going to simmer in our wine and our chicken broth and our soon to be added port wine. I'm going to add a half a cup of that as well. I should say port styled wine, since this is an American after dinner drink from one of my local wineries, Black Ankle Vineyards in Maryland. This is their Terra Dulce, which is a dessert wine, which I call port, but it is a tawny styled port, and it's delicious. And this is Terra Dulce number 7, so we're on our 7th vintage of this lovely. Now we're going to turn the heat up because we need it to come to a boil. And our figs are not completely submerged in our sauce, which is because I probably used too big of a pan, so the liquid has dispersed. So I might make an adjustment here, and where I was using a half a cup of everything, I think we're going to add a little more chicken broth, because I'm also drinking my wine. I don't want to cook it all. I want to save some for the dinner. And we also want our Terra Dulce for our after dinner. Okay. So we are going to let this come to a boil and simmer, and we're going to put our chicken back in so that it can absorb all this yummy sauce and the layers of freshness that we have between these shallots and the garlic, then with our lovely local wine I did not talk about, which is Lost Creek from Virginia, Loudoun County, Virginia. This is a Vidal Blanc. This was basically our house wine for the summer. Oh, here we come. We're coming up to a little bit of a boil, and these figs are already starting to soften, but we just need to make sure they stay submerged. And right now the peaks are not submerged. So when we get our chicken in there, it might raise the levels. So let's try to do that now. So our chicken and all the lovely juices of our chicken. Did you see that rolling right off the plate there? Woo! It's like a slide. Whoops, there we go. I always have a splash or two when I'm in the kitchen. I am known as a messy chef. Okay. So we are going to let this simmer. Once it comes up to a boil, I am going to reduce it and slightly cover it and let the chicken cook through as it absorbs the beauty of this sauce. I'm going to add some fresh herbs and probably a little bit of salt and white pepper. And we're going to be in heaven. Fig heaven. Okay, stay tuned, or I should say, we'll be back. Simmering away.